Hello, my name's Ben Swallow, and today I'm going to be showing you a presentation on uncertainty reduction theory. Little guy being uncertain right there. Then the originators of this theory are Charles Berger, he's on the right, and Richard Calabrese on the left. They developed the theory in 1975, and their main goal was to explain how communication is used to reduce uncertainties. And Berger and Calabrese both have PhDs in communication, so I do think that they are valid and verified in coming up with this theory. So, just a little bit about the theory and what it is. So, uncertainty reduction theory, or URT, is explained in the book as people needing information about the other person to reduce their uncertainty. So, this is going to involve a lot of self disclosure, revealing information about oneself so that others are feeling comfortable. And then, as implicit researchers, we are motivated both to predict and to explain what goes on in initial encounters. So, throughout all of our communication, we are trying to predict what other people want us to say and explain the things that didn't go as well in those conversations. Then the 7 assumptions of the theory are going to be uncertainty is an aversive state generating cognitive stress. So obviously initial encounters are going to be a little bit more stressful than ones that you've had with somebody you've known for a long time. And when strangers meet, their primary concern is to reduce their uncertainty or to increase predictability. So people are going to follow those social norms and rules to try and make the opposite person as much as comfortable as possible. And people experience uncertainty in interpersonal settings. So, obviously, in big groups, it's going to be about the same. Interpersonal communication is a developmental process that occurs through stages, so it's not just all at once. Interpersonal communication is the primary means of uncertainty reduction. And then the quantity and nature of information that people share can change through time. So relationships are always going up and down, and the intimacy rating. So obviously, the information people share is going to change throughout time. And the last assumption of the theory is that it is possible to predict people's behavior in a law like fashion. So people are pretty predictable, even though we are complex. And the two types of uncertainty are cognitive and behavioral. So cognitive is going to refer to the uncertainty of beliefs and attitudes. And this is where there's a high amount of uncertainty in initial reactions because the beliefs and attitudes of the other party are not known. So it's hard to guess that unless there are telltale signs. And then in the behavioral, this applies to the predictability of behavior in a given situation. So obviously, this is going to rely heavily on the social norms and rules. And if somebody isn't behaving those correctly, then it's going to be uh, a high degree of uncertainty. And the processes of uncertainty reduction, the proactive is going to be strategic planning prior to communication, so predicting what others might want to hear. And then the retroactive, which is analyzing communication after it has happened, so reevaluate what you could do better next time. And then the axioms of URT, the first one's going to be verbal communication. So as uncertainty is further reduced, the amount of verbal communication will increase. The second one, nonverbal affiliate expressiveness. So as uncertainty decreases, those nonverbal signs of approval are going to continue to increase, like head nods, eye contact, uh, just saying yeah or uh-huh, agreeing with the other person. And then the third one, information seeking. So in the beginning, in the initial stages of a relationship, you're going to be asking a lot more questions and seeking that information rather than later in a relationship because you're already going to know that. This also brings the level of uncertainty down because you're learning more about the other person. And then the intimacy level of communication content is obviously going to increase as uncertainty decreases because nobody wants to reveal information to a person they're uncertain with, especially intimate information. Then reciprocity is going to decrease as the uncertainty decreases as well. because with a high degree of uncertainty, you're going to want to be on the same page. You're going to want to do the same thing as the other person just to make that playing field level. And then similarity, obviously, is going to reduce uncertainty. If the person's like you, you're going to feel more comfortable with them. Liking increases in uncertainty level, um, and decreases in uncertainty produces increases in liking. So there's supportive evidence that there is a positive relationship between similarity and liking. So obviously, if you're similar with somebody, they're going to like you. And then shared networks. So if you're sharing the same kind of communication networks, you're going to have a lower level of uncertainty as well. And then the way you're satisfied with the communication obviously is going to play into that as well. Then the relationship developmental stages in the theory are the entry. So that's going to include a lot more implicit and explicit rules and norms. Because like I said before, you're just trying to make it as comfortable of a situation as possible, so you're not trying to do anything extreme. And then the personal, so you're going to start to interact more spontaneously and reveal idiosyncratic information. So just like your habits and stuff like that. And then the exit is going to be the decision of whether you want to keep interacting with that person or not. And then some of the incentives to reduce uncertainty are going to be anticipation of a future interaction. So obviously, if you're wanting to meet with somebody again, or you have to meet with them again, you're going to want to create a better communication. And then incentive value, they have or control something we want. So if you've ever seen a movie with like a villain holding somebody hostage, the hero or whoever is trying to get that person is obviously playing to the rules and norms of that villain. And then deviants, they act in a manner that is departing from accepting standards. And then the three reduction strategies are going to be passive. So this is like observing from afar how people act to get a better understanding of what they want from you. Active is getting information without direct contact, so asking someone about someone else. This was the middle school way of handling things. You would always ask your friends if they would go talk to a girl for you, because that was a much easier way and it reduced uncertainty in the long run. And then interactive is like self-disclosing conversation with the other person and asking them information that you wanted to know. And then finally, I'm just going to play a little clip from Mulan to show some of these examples in the film. So we're going to start off with Mulan sitting behind cover, just watching the other guys and seeing what they do. And then she comes out and she's trying to follow all the rules and norms, and this obviously moves into active, so she's not directly communicating, but she's in the area. So like I was saying, she's not directly communicating with anybody, she's just observing actually in the setting, not passively from outside. And then it's slowly going to move into interactive here in a second.
I hope you can get your money back.
I don't think I can do this.
It's all attitude. Be tough like this guy here. What are you looking at? Punch him is how men see.
So that's exactly when it moves into interactive, because the guy is making eye contact, directly talking to Mulan, and yeah. So let's see here. So yeah, there's the theory. Mulan expressed all of the reduction strategies because she's trying to reduce uncertainty in that group of people, because she's trying not to be found out by the other guys that she is a woman. So she's practicing all these strategies, and also she's exhibiting some of the axioms as well. So she's just trying to like make herself seem like the others, following all those social rules and norms to make herself less uncertain of a person in that group. And that is everything. So thank you, Dr. Palmer, and have a good weekend.